So I went to this restaurant recently and I go in and I can't see any employees and there's no waiters or anyone behind the counter even. And I go up to the counter and I realize it's an all self-service place, which is cool. I'm not opposed to that. And so I order on this little iPad and it asked me for a tip, which is insane. So I don't tip and I place my order and take my little number. And a few minutes later, some guy brings my food out, and it was great. And as I'm throwing my trash away, getting ready to leave, this manager-looking dude comes out and says, "Hey, man, was there a problem with our service?" And I said, "No, I like this place. I had a good meal." And he says, "Well, tips help support the staff." And I'm thinking, brother, I'm the staff. But anyways, I don't fight with the guy. I just say like, "Oh yeah, I usually always tip at like a restaurant with waiters and stuff." He goes like, "Oh, so you don't think what we do counts as a service? You just don't support workers?" I said, "Hey pal, did you just blow in from Stupid Town? When that iPad refills my drink, I'll give it a tip." Just kidding, I didn't say that. I'm not that cool. So I just kind of got out of that one and it was pretty awkward. But yeah, that sort of weird pressure that's become normal in our society, like, makes me just not want to go to like other restaurants as well. I mean, I know obviously all places aren't like this, and a lot of places know that this sort of weird tipping pressure, like, is so bad for business and bad for the economy and bad for everything. Now, don't be mistaken. I'm not anti-tip. I am super pro-tip. I think that tipping is one of the best parts about American society. It literally allows us to pay the good workers better than the bad ones. You got one guy who's got the pep in his step and he remembers your order and your name and he's just a nice guy, and you want to pay that guy. You want to tip him. And then you have a guy that moves like he's on airplane mode and forgets everything you say and treats eye contact like it costs extra. And obviously you're going to tip the first guy more. And that's a good thing. That's an inherently good thing, that you as the customer are able to pay the good server better than the bad one. I I had a couple of maids for a few years, and I always thought they did fine. They did an okay job. But my girlfriend recently moved in, and she's like, "Dude, these ladies are not it, dude. They're not cleaning." And I'm a guy; I don't really notice the stuff that she notices. So, anyways, she gets a recommendation from her hairstylist for a different one, and so we tried this lady. She was a little bit more expensive actually, but holy smokes, dude! This lady spent 16 hours over 2 days cleaning up my house, like it was for her last meal or something. It was unbelievable how good she did, how hard she worked, and it was so cool. I gave her $100 tip, and I felt great about it. I would love to do that. I would love to get that service again and be able to give a good tip. That's what tipping is all about. But anyways, I think one of the biggest culprits here is coffee shops. So I love going to coffee shops, little, artistic ones with the goofy art and the plants that I've never seen sunlight. And anyways, I used to go to these places all the time, and I really don't mind, spending $7 for a latte. But normally I'll just like pay cash at these places to sort of circumvent the treacherous iPad. But lately, lately a lot of these places are going cashless, which completely takes away my move here. And yeah, man, listen, like when they turn that iPad around, dude, I don't want to tip, like, out of principle, and I don't think I should tip, but oh my gosh, gun to my head, it would be impossible for me to click no tip when they turn that freaking iPad around. And hey, they're not always iPads. Some of them are those little keypads where getting to the no tip option is like trying to put in a cheat code on Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3. I swear, like, some of them, it's so hard to even just get there, even if you wanted to. it's gonna ask you a question. I wonder what the question is, dude. How's my day going? How are you? How's this nice guy doing? No, that's never the question. It's, are you gonna give me $1.50 or are you gonna go to hell? So yeah, anyways, it just sort of hurts the experience for me a lot because I do really like going to these places. And it's not even the extra like $1.50 that I care about. I mean, I do because it adds up, especially if you go, to these places like 3 or 4 times a week, like I used to. But it's more of like the like awkwardness of that, and like me knowing I don't want to tip, but then automatically tipping like doesn't feel good. It feels bad, And feel like almost feel like a bad person when I go to select no tip, but when I would just pay with cash and either take my change or give them the 30 cents or whatever, I don't feel bad at all. I feel like it's a normal transaction. But wow, that little iPad just changes everything. It really does. And we shouldn't tip because we feel pressured to. That's the opposite of what tipping's for. We tip when we get exemplary service, and it promotes exemplary service. I mean, not every single person that gets great service is going to tip, but on average, in the long run, the person who gives the better service, the employee that gives the better service, will make more money. And that's a great thing. That's what America is all about. Bald eagle. And sometimes it's the opposite too. For some reason, I had this one math teacher in the 6th grade, and he would say, I tip pretty well, but when I have a really bad server, I always tip them more because they're having a really bad day and, it's going to cheer them up. But anyways, man, I know that the economy's bad. We all know that, obviously. I know that tipping is not the main reason why the economy's bad. But it definitely is a thing. I'm a perfect example. I'm a guy that loves to spend money, and I have money to spend right now, but I am spending less of it. And that is a big reason why. So anyways, if you like this style of video, drop me a sub and maybe I'll make some more.